The world watched in disbelief as Russian tanks rolled across the Ukrainian border in February 2022. This act of aggression shattered decades of relative peace in Europe. It also sent shockwaves through the global economy. Amidst the chaos and uncertainty, one sector emerged as a clear beneficiary: defense. At the forefront of this surge stood Lockheed Martin, America's largest defense contractor. Lockheed Martin, with a long and storied history dating back to the early days of aviation, found itself thrust into the center of a new geopolitical reality. The company, known for its iconic products like the F-35 fighter jet, the HIMARS rocket system and the Patriot missile defense system, became synonymous with the West's response to Russian aggression. As nations across Europe and North America pledged to bolster their defenses, Lockheed Martin's order books swelled. The conflict in Ukraine highlighted a stark reality. The world is a dangerous place and freedom is not free. It underscored the critical role that companies like Lockheed Martin play in providing for the common defense. As the free world grappled with the return of great power competition, Lockheed Martin found itself on the front lines of a new era. The company's products, once seen by some as relics of a bygone era, were suddenly in high demand. From the shores of the Baltic Sea to the Indo-Pacific region, countries sought to acquire the tools necessary to deter aggression and defend their sovereignty. The Russia-Ukraine war served as a wake-up call, reminding the world that peace is not a given but a prize that must be constantly guarded. The surge in demand for military hardware following Russia's invasion of Ukraine was swift and substantial. NATO members, spurred by a renewed sense of urgency, pledged to increase defense spending. Germany, long criticized for its anemic military budgets, announced the creation of a €100 billion defense fund. The United States, already the world's largest military power, committed over $40 billion in military aid to Ukraine in 2022. Lockheed Martin, with its vast industrial capacity and technological prowess, was uniquely positioned to meet this surge in demand. The company's HIMARS rocket system in particular gained notoriety for its effectiveness on the Ukrainian battlefield. Images of destroyed Russian tanks and armored vehicles, attributed to the precision strikes of HIMARS, circulated widely in the media, further fueling demand. This surge in orders was reflected in Lockheed Martin's financial performance. By the third quarter of 2022, the company reported a backlog of $66 billion, up from $58.5 billion in 2021. Net sales for the fourth quarter of 2022 reached $19 billion, a 7% year-over-year increase. Earnings per share climbed to $7.79, up from $7.47 in the previous year. Lockheed Martin's stock price, a key indicator of investor confidence, surged by approximately 22% between February 2022 and February 2023. This contrasted sharply with the broader market as the S&P 500 index declined by 7% over the same period. The company's dividend yield, a measure of its return to shareholders, remained attractive, hovering between 2.5% and 3%. Lockheed Martin's price-to-earnings ratio, a metric used to assess a company's valuation, increased from 16 times to 19 times, reflecting growing investor optimism. The surge in demand for military hardware presented both opportunities and challenges for Lockheed Martin. The company had to navigate a complex geopolitical landscape, contend with supply chain disruptions, and address growing concerns about environmental, social, and governance issues. Lockheed Martin responded with a multi-pronged strategy focused on strengthening its supply chain, engaging in political lobbying, and reassuring investors. Recognizing the importance of a resilient supply chain, Lockheed Martin invested in domestic manufacturing capabilities. The company sought to reduce its reliance on foreign suppliers, particularly for critical components such as semiconductors. This move was driven in part by the realization that geopolitical tensions could disrupt global supply chains, potentially hindering production. Lockheed Martin also ramped up its political lobbying efforts. The company sought to secure favorable government contracts, streamline export approvals, and shape policies that supported the defense industry. These efforts were crucial in ensuring that Lockheed Martin could meet the surge in demand and navigate the complex regulatory environment governing arms sales. To reassure investors, Lockheed Martin maintained a strong dividend yield and engaged in share repurchases. These actions signaled the company's confidence in its long-term prospects and its commitment to returning value to shareholders. Lockheed Martin also sought to address ESG concerns by highlighting its investments in renewable energy, workforce diversity, and ethical business practices. The Russia-Ukraine war served as a stark reminder that geopolitical instability is a persistent feature of the global landscape. It also underscored the importance of the defense sector, not only for national security, but also as a potential hedge against market volatility. Investors seeking to navigate this uncertain terrain can glean valuable lessons from the experiences of companies like Lockheed Martin. First and foremost, defense stocks can outperform during periods of geopolitical uncertainty. As investors flee to safety amidst market turmoil, companies operating in the defense sector with their long-term government contracts and essential role in national security can offer a degree of stability. However, investing in defense stocks requires a nuanced understanding of geopolitical risks, military budgets, and government procurement cycles. Second, company execution is paramount in the defense sector. Lockheed Martin's success in capitalizing on the surge in demand for military hardware stemmed not only from its technological prowess, but also from its operational discipline and strategic agility. The company's ability to ramp up production, manage its supply chain effectively, and navigate the political landscape proved crucial. Third, ESG considerations are increasingly important, even in the defense sector. While the industry has traditionally been viewed as controversial from an ESG perspective, companies like Lockheed Martin are taking steps to address these concerns. Investors need to weigh these factors carefully, balancing the potential financial returns with their own ethical considerations. Finally, government policy plays a pivotal role in the defense sector's profitability. Military budgets, export approvals, and procurement decisions can significantly impact the financial performance of defense contractors. Investors need to stay abreast of these policy developments and understand their potential implications.